What's up with it, guys? Thank you for joining me on another day of this glorious game that we're all playing called Life. Hopefully, you are having a great day. But if you're not, don't feel bad because I don't think anyone really is anymore. Seems to me that we are in a psyop world that is consistently keeping us in this fallen state to the point that we don't realize that we're even doing anything wrong anymore. Well, that was trash. And of course, there's always the ability to change for the better. Of course, there's always room for growth, but us as a people, we have now entered this state of time to where it's like we're controlled more by the ego and by other people's opinions on us rather than what's morally and principally correct. And of course, it's to no fault of anyone because the whole system that we live in, the system of the banks, the big pharmacy, the school system, prisons, everything here in the United States, it's all designed to put us in a fallen state. I'm not going to say it's designed to fail because, of course, if its purpose was to do exactly what it's doing, then it's not really failing. But of course, we we as people, we can't even see the fact of how bad it is because we have no comparison to how it once was. We now live in this system that, where everybody's in debt, everybody's brainwashed, everybody's broken, everybody's getting shot when they come around the corner, but everybody's in this fallen state to the point where they're victims at all the times instead of being conquerors. We are all, and of course, I think it's, no, I don't think it's natural, but we are all victims to our circumstances. We're victims to what we don't know, what we were never taught. We're victims to what we're ignorant of. And that's why the biggest goal for me above all others is to try to eliminate ignorance as much as I possibly can, while of course not losing myself. Because of course, in today's world, it will take everything from you and leave you with nothing if you allow it to do so. Now, of course, that's not what I want to do. I'm here to help. Damn, there was a reference that popped up. I don't know what it's from. But that's all my goal is to help free the minds of the sheeple who are stuck in the constant loop of life. Constant loop of selfishness in a way. That's a big issue with people. We worship ourselves instead of worshiping the greater good, instead of worshiping the highest power. We're all putting ourselves on this pedestal like we're some hot stuff when in reality that couldn't be further from the truth. Now, of course, we have to have grace just due to the fact that, Wow, that's an interesting spawn point. But just due to the fact that we're ignorant. Look there. Not a bad game. Made it better though. But us as a species is we're ignorant to the truth of the reality. We're ignorant to how much weight our choices and how much weight our environments impact us. Because even just like it says in the scripture, iron sharpens iron. So if around you're around people who aren't bringing you up, then they're not. Then you're pulling you down. It's that simple. And that's the whole thing when it comes to this reality that we're all living in. It's a lot more simple than we have been led to realize. Now, it's a lot more crazy than we've been led to realize too, but it's still very easy to see that there is a higher power that is above everything, that there is a higher system of order that is keeping us on track. But of course, at the same time, we are victims of free will, so we have the ability to do what we want to when we want to. But then it's like people get surprised and shocked by the fact that they get these consequences for their actions. That'd be like hooking up with a prostitute or something and getting an STD and being surprised that you got it. Like, that's just, it's common sense. And that right there, I think, is a big issue, is that common sense is no longer a common thing. Like when I was young, in the early 2000s, common sense was something that was there. You wouldn't act a certain way around women and children. You would be respectful. You'd want to keep those two aspects of the world and as pure as long as we possibly could. But now in today's world, that's not the case. You got kids who get shot in gang fights. You got women who are in gangs who are worse than the dudes are. Like, we have entered this state of being to where it's as if everybody is being run by selfishness to the point that we no longer have any sense of control for ourselves. We no longer have any self-control towards, I don't know if he's still there, but better to check, right? Oh yeah, he's definitely dead. But we've lost self-control. We've lost the ability to critically think. We continuously keep doing the wrong thing, morally speaking, and yet we're amazed and we're baffled by the fact that bad things are happening in our life. And that's the thing that we have to realize, is that this game that we're playing, this game of life, has rules, has regulations, has fundamental principles that are put into place to keep us in line to the end of, when I say to the end, I mean to what end, but it's to keep us in line to the point to where we don't, humans were not designed to carry all the weight that comes with having free will, because everything that we do, it's all, every bad choice that you make sits on your conscience, and it eats at you. When you do wrong, yet we still do it for some odd reason, and then we're flabbergasted at the fact that we're depressed. have anxiety, or we're in a state of fear or division. And that's why, if I can, I know I can. It's just a matter of people wanting to be open. But if I can, I would like to be able to shift everyone from that victim mind state to that conqueror mind state to that winner, that victor mind state, because everybody has the potential to have the life of their wildest dreams. You have the potential to create, to love, to live, to, and I don't mean the modern day love. I mean real love, true love, unconditional love, not the false love that everybody's pushing, which is really just lust. But we have to be willing to lose our ego self in order to gain our spiritual self. We have to lose our immediate satisfaction so that way we can gain our eternal gratification. Yeah, that checks. Sure. But us as a people, we're all at this point in history to where it's like nobody wants to change, nobody wants to grow, nobody wants to say that they're the problem. Everyone would rather point the finger instead of looking in the mirror. And in order to change your life and to fix your reality to what you truly want, you have to admit that you're the problem. We have to learn as people that our way of thinking is the issue. We have to learn that our way of thinking is keeping us in this fallen state that we are not supposed to stay in. We're not supposed to be this way. We we're supposed to be creators, but the whole system we live in puts us as consumers. We're supposed to be moving with the intention of love, but instead we're moving with the intention of power or hate or division. And that's a big reason why no matter what you do, it never will succeed because you're not moving with the right intentions. We have to change our internal reality in order to align with our true self so that way we can bring forth our desired reality. Like what actually will fulfill your true self, not the egotistical, vain self, but the part of you that craves purpose, part of you that craves awareness, that craves intimacy, that craves love, that craves compassion and understanding and knowledge. Dang, man. But if we continue to keep doing the same things that our parents did and the same things that our parents did, then we will never break out of the matrix. We will never break out of the system that we live in because it's designed to keep us in this fallen state to the point to where we will never break out of it. We never can unless we change our mindset because that's the only thing that we can truly change. You can sit there and like I've helped homeless people throughout the years. I've tried to help I try to help anyone that I can still to this point, to this moment. But you can't help people who aren't willing to help themselves. And in today's society, everybody wants to be carried. Nobody wants to actually be the carrier. And that's not okay because again, we are the problem. So if we want to change, we have to do the work. We have to go into our mind. We have to embody the change that we continuously say that we want. But from where I sit, most people would rather just, excuse my language, but bitch and complain about where they are in life instead of actually doing something different, instead of actually finding a way to live in fulfillment, live in alignment, live in certainty. Like, there's all these different traits and these different. We Come on, peek it. Oh, peek it, please. 3, 2. Thank you. Dang it. 1. But it's just there's just certain things that we're failing to learn. We're not, and I mean it makes sense because people learn the hard way. That's just an unfortunate truth about our design is that we usually learn the hard way. Like, I can tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, but probably not going to. You'll probably end up doing what you want to do, doing what you want to do continuously until eventually, I don't know. I don't know if you'll learn the lesson because most people don't. Hey, look, that was me. I was running by in that top window, but most people don't want to learn. Most people don't want to change. Most people don't want to grow. Most people don't want to acknowledge the fact that they're the problem. Acknowledge the fact that their actions is the reason why they are in this situation that they are in. But at the same time, we have to. I can't do things for you. I can guide you and I can tell you the truth. And if you're like me, myself, to where you're open to learning from others, then naturally you'll pick things up that'll help you out. But most people have to learn the hard way because a big goal for us isn't to gain knowledge, because gaining knowledge is from learning, but we have to gain wisdom, and that comes through experience. You can't, like, okay, for example, I've learned things from being an addict that no one else could tell me. Like, I had to go through the ups and downs of, smoking weed, or, I briefly did pills, but that didn't last long. 'Cause, I mean, I've always kind of wanted to be in control of myself, or occasionally doing acid, but also that's still not something that I've done a lot of or done frequently. But it's really mainly been weed. And there's nothing that you could tell me from me learning that I've learned from doing that. You could, like, I had to learn how it makes you procrastinate. I had to learn how it makes you unmotivated, how it makes you not want to deal with conflict, how it makes you. Well, yeah, that's good enough. That's enough examples. But then also at the same time, when I was a kid, I watched my mom, grandfather, grandmother, aunt. Like, I watched all these people who were just some of the worst alcoholics you'd ever come across. And I was able to learn from watching them that alcohol wasn't something that I wanted. That even though it seemed like they had fun for. Oh, did we just exchange? No, we didn't. Someone else killed me. But even though we or even though they seemed like they was having this good old time and it was laughing and whatnot, it was like it was always towards the end of the night to where it would get bad. Like there was just things like there was this one time, right? So my grandmother was probably in her 40s, somewhere in there, maybe, I don't know. She was older. And I'm used to this delicate, not delicate, but this fragile old woman who wasn't really able to move, wasn't really able to do much, physically speaking. And next thing you know, man, she starts drinking. And she's full blown running me down. Not even like chasing me, but she was running me down. And for me, I've always been fast. I can outrun dogs. I could outrun like bikes. I could outrun most people I come across. Like I was always quick. But she was like running me down, and they're like, it scared the absolute crap out of me. And like at first, it's like I was kind of laughing, and she was too, but she failed to realize the negative impact that it was having on my perspective, houseway. But again, I think that's something also that that creates a lot of room for error. The fact that there is a plethora of misunderstandings in between each of us. And that's just due to the fact that everybody thinks that we all think alike. We don't realize I mean, not everybody, but when I say that, I just mean the masses, the 99%. But they fail to realize that each and every one of us have a different perspective. So since each and every one of us have a different perspective, we're all experiencing a completely different life, completely different circumstances, completely different environments. Like it's very different just because of the fact that what we focus on creates our life. Like what our mind focuses on is what you're going to see. So if you're someone who likes, okay, so for me, I'm a fan of things that are fast, like not trucks, cars, motorcycles. Um, a fan of fighting, so like Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball universe, WWE universe, other animes, just certain things of that nature. Also boxing and other fighting skills, but um, fan of guns, fan of all these different all of these different items that highlight to my perspective. It's molded me into a completely different being. And what I mean by that is like, okay, so if you dang nabbit. Okay, so for you, let's say we're sitting there watching TV and we watch 6, 7 different commercials. I'd be faster to notice a Dragon Ball Z commercial than you would. Because it's not your interest. I'd be faster to notice something about fighting, something about personal growth. Because that's the interest, or something about psychology. Psychology is a big one for me. Or sociology, that one too. Or another ology. Well, as well, right? Why do they move back and forth like that? Like that's such a it's like they're insecure that they're gonna be able to get the shot off. But no, as I was saying, it's like just due to the fact that I have different interests, I have a different viewpoint. I notice things differently. I see certain things differently, so I move differently. So because of the fact that our minds create our reality, I live in a completely different reality than you. I'm having completely different experiences than you. I'm focusing on completely different events than you. So like that's also one of those things to where most people try to damn. But most people try to what's the word? It's the opposite of validate. I can't think of it. See, if only I had like a big audience right now, that'd help. You can like message me and be like, "Hey, this is the word." But no, we try to undermine other people's experiences and other people's truth. And us as people, we have to realize that there is truth in every perspective. And in reality, everything and every one of us is actually interconnected with each other, and we have to do whatever is possible to clear out the noise, clear out anything that's slowing us down in each of our individual races. Because life, I mean, it's I know, yeah, I gotta be. My metaphors are everywhere, but life is like a game, but also it's like a race, and we're all running to the finish line. Some of us are gonna get to the finish line sooner than later, but we have to drop anything that's slowing us down in our own particular race. So for me, it was stealing, women, weed, food, drink, which lust and food, that's kind of everybody has those. Uh, you know, what else? I don't know. You get the point though. But we have to drop any of these weights that are keeping us held back from our potential. You know, it could be greed, it could be gluttony, it could be slothfulness, it can be uh damn, I used to know every one of those by heart. That's crazy. It's like you stop studying all stuff, it's like stuff just kind of goes away. But in my theory, I believe that each and every one of us have, most people have heard about the seven deadly sins. So each and every single one of us, we have these tendencies to feed into the seven deadly sins. And it's like after we get through each one, we're able to free up an energy center or a chakra, if you would. And like, of course, there's different religions that have different beliefs naturally. But at the same time, all these different religions with all these different beliefs usually have a lot of patterns that kind of go across every single one of them. And because of that, there's just certain things that I've noticed that I can't ignore anymore. Because I believe there is truth in every religion. I believe that there is truth in every method or every existence, every path. But we have been led to believe that, this person's right, this person's wrong. You're right, you're wrong, blah 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 blah. And it's really just people validating the sins they may do, but then they're attacking you for the sins they don't do. And that doesn't make sense to me. But it does at the same time because that's human nature. Like, or it is at this point in history, it is. Because we've all been programmed to hate each other, to stay divided, to stay discouraged. Damn it. And if we don't do something different soon, we're going to stay in our. We're going to stay victims. We're going to stay defeated. We're going to stay helpless. We're going to stay miserable. We're going to stay empty. We're going to stay lost to we're going to stay lost to the true reality. Well, gotta love it, huh? But we're going to stay victims to our lives. We're going to stay victims to circumstance, and we can fix all of that just by changing our perception, just by changing the way we think, being open-minded, repenting from what you know to be false, what you know to be not good for you, what you know to be stopping your growth. I'm having a bad game this game. Who cares? But it all starts with you, always, always. So you want your life to get better, you gotta change. You want your circumstance to get better, you gotta change. You want your family to love you more, you gotta change. You want to have the dream job, you gotta change. You want to have dream life that's fulfilling, you gotta change. You want to. Okay, sure. Sure again, why not, right? But change is an absolute necessity. We have to embody the traits that we know are true and then also the traits that we desire. We have to treat people how we want to be treated. You have to move as if what you do to other people, you're doing to yourself. Because in a way you are, if you make a certain choice that's a bad choice, well, but if you make a bad choice, you gotta live with the consequences, not the other person. If you choose to hate somebody, you're the one walking around carrying the hate, not them. I seen them. Need a better scope. Oh, don't matter. How am I? Horrible. Yeah, I knew that. Sheesh. You want to see some actually good games? Yeah, I think the video before this one wasn't that bad. But no, each and every one of us, like, I'll be the first to admit that I'm the problem. Because I know I'm the problem. At every bad choice in my life, I've been there. At every good choice in my life, I've been there. Every circumstance I've ever found myself in, I have been the cause of it. And honestly, I should have got a lot more than what I did get. Like, I mean, I did not have an easy upbringing at all. But at the same time, it's like I've always been kind of protected from myself in a way. Like, it never got too bad. Like, it got bad. It got really bad because it took a lot to break me because I've always been a very strong-willed individual. But no, it never got to the point where, of course, I couldn't handle it. Now, naturally, there were certain things that would arise and certain circumstances that would pop up that would test me and aim to keep me in a lower state. But I've always been able to find that way to keep moving on because, of course, we don't only impact ourselves, we impact all those around us. And because of that, we have to find a way to keep going on. And that's why I'm trying to help people as much as I possibly can because most people are only surviving. They're not living anymore. They don't have a life. It's like a chore almost. It's like they have to do it. And it's because of the fact that maybe they got certain people that they love that they don't want to put harm through. Maybe it's because of the fact that they're scared of death. That's a really big one in today's world. They're scared of the uncertainty of death. People aren't scared of uncertainty in general, but definitely if you add death to the mix, it's like, whoa, man, like, no, I don't want to do that. That's scary, you know? It's like, ew, no, no, thank you. But we have to realize of the power that we're truly capable of. Us as a people have to begin to understand how interconnected all of this truly is and how each and every one of us, thank you, have we have a purpose built into our design that will truly fulfill you in ways you've never even imagined possible. But you'll never get to unless you make the necessary changes, unless you repent from the things that are stopping your growth, stopping your progress, stopping your character development. Developing your character, that's a very big thing. That's very, very high up on the priority list because only you can fix you. Only you can fix your soul. Only you can prevent forest fires. But no, we have to open up as people because we are people. We've done grown to become very stubborn, very materialistic, very frantic, very chaotic, very controlling, very confused. And nothing is ever going to change if we stay in that mindset. And again, that's exactly what Jesus states. Like, that's what he's telling us in the Bible. And there's other characters, other masterful teachers who try to tell us that, like, yeah, we are the problem. And we're going to continuously stay the problem unless we change our point of view, change our mind. But of course, most of us would rather complain and make excuses, which I'm not gonna knock. I was one of those people too. That's why that's why I say what I say, because I know I've been there. Thank you. But most of us would rather be pitied than helped. Most of us would rather be heard than seen. And by that I mean, like, like, you can tell when someone actually sees you. Most of the time people just listen to you just to listen. Just so you'll eventually shut up, maybe, hopefully, if they're lucky. But most of us, or some of us, I'm not gonna say most of us obviously, but like me, if someone talks to me, I can't help but to give my undivided attention, for the most part. Now, if I learn the person and realize they're gonna be talking a bunch of brain rot crap, maybe like showing memes on your phones, because that's the new social thing. It's not to talk. We share memes. We show reels. We do all this other dumb crap that don't even matter. So if it's like one of those people, then yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna cut it off because it doesn't matter. But if someone actually wants to talk genuinely, hear what I gotta say, listen to me, then you'll have my undivided attention. They will continue to keep said attention as long as they are worthy to have said attention. But most of us, and again, when I say us, I just mean the species of humans. Most people, wow, how did I miss that? But most people miss the mark. Most people miss the point. Most people don't even understand why they do the things they do. They're just doing it. They're just going off of that damn programming that their mom or dad or grandparents or whomever, whatever environment they grew up in, they're going off the programming that they instilled into them. That dude's starting to irritate me. Wow, I'm having a really bad game. You know what? Yeah, I think we head to Old Dusty Trail after that. You know what? Actually, how long has this been? Wow, 41 minutes? Didn't feel like it. My damn throat hurts though, so I'm probably about to get off here. But we have to learn as a people to trust in the higher power. Because there is for lack of better term, that most people will comprehend, God. There's a God above us who is also inside of us, who wants us to realize the power we truly have and the capabilities that we truly are able to do, but he's never going to give us more than we can handle. So because of that, I'm just curious. Let me see what map it puts me on. It's a good enough map. I might keep playing. At least one more. But screw it, might as well, right? But our Father in heaven isn't going to give us more than we can handle. Excuse me. So every time you go through something, there's a spiritual lesson attached to it. Now, what is it? That's for you to figure out. Because again, it's different for wherever you are in your own personal walk in comparison to where I am. But I can tell you off of my experience that once you learn the lesson, it'll stop popping up. But everything here, it's a test. It's it's not a game, but it's a game. Because we have to learn. We have to learn who we are and what we're capable of. And you can't learn who you are unless you forget. You can't rise up unless you fall. You're not going to succeed unless you put in the work. And most people nowadays just want to get participation trophies. They don't want to actually sign up for work. They don't want to sit there and grind for hours to work out or to change themselves or to spiritually evolve themselves, in essence. But I can tell you from my own personal experience that if you were to commit to the process of change, commit to the process of becoming your true self, that was definitely a headshot. But if you commit to the process of becoming your true self, then in time, naturally, you'll have a life worth living. You'll be on cloud nine always. It's like almost as if you'll have a kind of like a natural high of life. Like you won't need to get drunk to have fun or need to smoke to enjoy yourself or to unwind. Like, it's just, again, we have to repent from ourselves. We have to repent from our egotistical self, not our true self, because our true self is that's the part of us that's inside that's screaming bloody murder because it can't get a word in, and it's not being heard no more. It's not being seen. It's constantly being quieted down and squished down below what you know is actually true, what you know you actually should do. Hmm. Thank you. I should have, yeah, I should have stuck with the plan and just sitting there and aiming with my gun. But we're all a victim of circumstance. We're all mindlessly running around hoping to figure out this life thing, and no one's trying to actually help. But it's because no one can actually help, because most of us, now when I say us, I'm just kind of, yeah, not me, because I'm far from being in that headspace nowadays. You see how smart that was? Wait, what? Why did it show up as Red 1,000 teammates? Anyways, most of us are at a point in life to where we are broken, we're empty, we're fallen, we're divided, we're unhappy. And that's why if I can sacrifice my comfort in order to help push people towards their purpose, then I'll do it a million times every day, all day, every day. But again, it's only for those who actually want change, those who are actually capable of change. Most people aren't capable of change, if you notice. You'll sit there and you'll watch people and you'll see they'll gripe and complain, but nothing will ever actually alter. Nothing will ever actually change up. And it's because they don't know how to, or they don't want to. They would rather sit in their filth and continue to stay as they are. But, excuse me, we have a Father in heaven who wants to have a relationship with us. There is a greater power that wants to communicate with us, talk to us, understand us, love us, free us from the burdens that we are all victims of. Come on, just climb up there. But then again, like I say, only you can fix your soul. Only you know where your heart's at. Only you know where your mind is. Only you know where your decisions have taken you. But if we can make better decisions, we can create a better life. We can make the change that every one of us have craved for so long. We can alter our world by first altering our perspective. But you got to change the mind first. Don't change the mind, you'll keep experiencing the exact same thing over and over because your mind never changed. Like, even with my mother, she's at this point in her life where she wants to run. She wants to go off to a different state and restart over. And it's like I keep trying to tell her, it's like the problems will follow. That was a bad game. I should have just stayed off. But the problems will follow us no matter where we go. Unless we change our viewpoint, unless we change our way of thinking, then the test is going to keep popping up. No, you're not going to move on past the test unless you make a different choice. And again, with humans, of course, we learn the hard way, but we do learn nevertheless. So, yeah, definitely get off here. But so we have to begin to understand on a deeper aspect that our decisions and our mind state impacts a lot more than just your internal circumstance, like how you feel that day or what you're doing or anything like that. We have to realize that our mind is creating our life right before our eyes. Our uncertainty, our doubts, our division is hindering our steps in the right direction. That's why we have to do certain things in order to fix our mental health. We have to, read a Bible, whichever one. I mean, King James is my preference, or the Ethiopian Bible, one or the other. Either way, the story of Jesus is my preference. But I do have a Quran, I have a Gnostic Gospels, I have a bunch of different books. But anyways, we have to read scripture, read spiritually strengthening books that'll teach us certain things and guide us in a way. We have to work out, like it goes in hand with mental health. We have to watch what we watch. We have to watch what we eat, what we listen to, who we're around. Like our diets, it's a lot more than just what we eat. And when it comes to the aspect of mental health, our our decisions and the choices that we make, who we're around, and what we listen to, and what we allow to come in, can alter us for the worse, especially in today's reality where everything is usually for the worse. But I hope that something I said resonates with you. And if I ever say anything that there's confusion or you want to be broke down deeper, just comment. But we have to fix our mental health. Once we fix our mind and change our perspective, once we flip our mind from focusing on the lack, change it from focusing on the lack to focusing on the abundance of what we do have. Focus on the good, not the bad. Like, okay, let's say you go take a shower and you got cold water. Don't focus on the fact you got cold water. Focus on the fact you can take a shower. A lot of people can't do that. Or I remember one time, I got home after working out of town, flying down to the beach last second to go work in construction, do a bunch of crap work that all turned out like crap. To come back home and my power was cut. Didn't have money to pay it. So instead of focusing on the fact that I didn't have power, and I mean, it was hot. It was middle of summer too. So I opened my back door and I slept right there on the floor at my back door so I could have some wind. And I was just thankful that I had a place to sleep where I was still safe. A fact that I was inside and I wasn't out in the elements. But it's all about changing your perspective. And you can do it. You just got to want to. But thank you for your time. Please like, please subscribe, please share, please comment. Let's build a community. Peace.